door delivery. So any of our clients who needed material assistance, if they were not able to come to the center, we would go directly to their door and drop off the diapers and the wipes. We would do virtual parenting classes and support, but we continue to offer the medical services on site. As we've taken a lot of mitigation efforts here, we keep our distance, we wear masks, we do what we need to do. We've been able to open up a little bit more and allow clients into the building, but there was not a single day that we had to close. We remained open and remained serving people. We just had to get really creative on what that looked like. But if they needed a service, it was available to them throughout that whole process. You know, our clients are in tough spots and they needed us to show up for them. And so it wasn't a time for us to close down, but just to find really creative ways to continue to provide them with the support that they needed.
Yeah, we've seen the isolation have such a negative impact. You need to have that personal experience. So what about your annual fundraisers? Because how have they been impacted? I know you are a totally donation-funded nonprofit. So tell us about that.
We do not receive any government dollars. We're totally donor funded. That just means people that believe in the work we do help fund the work that we do. And so in 2020, we did not have our annual fundraiser. This is a pretty critical event for us to raise the funds to continue offering services throughout the year. But as always, our donors are faithful and amazing, and they showed up and donated anyway. And so we were able to meet our budgetary requirements for 2020 and even exceed some of those so we could do some of these exciting additional services. And in 2021, we are going to have our annual fundraiser again. It'll be at Hilton Garden Inn on April 15th. Again, anyone who's interested in that can go to our website to learn more about it, alternativecenter.org. But we are excited to be able to gather again. Of course, it will look and feel a little different with some of the mitigation efforts still in place, but we want to be able to just share the heart and vision for alternatives. So we're excited to be able to get back together.
Yeah, I've done quite a number of events, but almost all of them, in fact, all of them in the last year, have been virtual MC events or appearances like that virtually. So hopefully that'll be changing soon. I want to point out something that I think is really important, and that is that the services that you offer to clients, they need not worry about their privacy being violated. I mean, everything is private and confidential, right?
Absolutely. That's so important for clients to know because, again, pregnancy is a tough topic for some folks to wrap their head around, the fact that they are pregnant or that they might be pregnant. They may have relational issues or personal issues that they don't feel comfortable with everyone else knowing. And so when they come through the doors of alternatives, we're not only just fully HIPAA compliant, but we treat our clients with such dignity and respect. And whatever they share in the walls of the center will be kept in the strictest of confidence. Of course, you know, with the exception of any legal things that would violate that. But for the vast majority of our clients, their care here is fully confidential, and they can just trust that they're talking to somebody that's going to keep what they say in absolute confidence.
Now, the last time you were on our program, you had only been in our community a few months, having come, I believe, from Hawaii, where you helped create a new church and a new school, and your husband is also a pastor. So your personal values really do reflect those of the Alternatives Pregnancy Center, because you, as you told me earlier, believe in what you call the sanctity of life.
Yes, sir. We do believe that life is very sacred. Personally, I was placed for adoption when I was an infant, and that was in part because my mother was sexually assaulted and was not prepared to parent another child. She already had 2 children and was not prepared to parent a 3rd child, and so she placed me for adoption. I was adopted by a loving and incredible couple who really helped me understand how life is sacred, regardless of the circumstances of my conception and birth. I knew that I was loved. I knew that I had a family that desperately prayed for and hoped for a baby, and I felt just so loved. My brother is also adopted, and so it is very close to our heart. My husband and I are foster parents, and we just really believe that life is sacred, that people are worthy of dignity and value. And so we really take those values into the work that we do here at Alternatives, that we believe that regardless of the circumstances, that women can be empowered to choose life, and that we can come alongside them and give them the support that they need as they do that.
Yeah, and that's a really personal thing for you, the adoption category, because that
Yeah.
is certainly a tremendous option. We've talked a lot about adoptions and foster care here on KWWL over the last almost
Um,
40 years. Your birth mother chose life for you, knowing that she would not be able to care for you herself. That's quite a
right.
sacrifice, actually.
Right. Yeah, it's very selfless. I am so very grateful for the courage that she showed in choosing life. And I, as an adult, have a great appreciation for the difficulty that that choice was, especially as a single mom of two children, and that she would choose to continue what I'm sure was a very emotional and difficult pregnancy. And when I heard the circumstances surrounding my adoption as an adult, I was even more grateful than I ever thought I could be that she would have been brave enough to choose life. And I would only hope that if she could see me now, that she would be thankful and proud of her choice.
I think absolutely she would. And Megan, I really appreciate you with all the personal stories that you've been able to share with us. That's, I know it's tough to do sometimes, but we really, really do appreciate that. It means an awful lot. We're going to take a short break here on the Seal Report. Remember, all of our shows are online on kwwl.com. We're coming right back in just a moment. And welcome back to this week's edition of the Seal Report. My guest this week is the Executive Director of the Alternatives Pregnancy Center with 3 locations now in the area. That's Megan Ithiraga, and she was on the program not too long ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And you believe in the sanctity of life at Alternatives Pregnancy Center. But what you really do, Megan, and talk about this, you really walk women through this very, very important and very likely stressful and confusing time in their lives, making sure that they don't make a rash or kind of an ill-advised decision.
Absolutely. Yes. We just try to provide the support, the listening ear that they need, a friendship, to walk alongside them to really address whatever issues might be weighing on their heart or in their life. And again, work with incredible community partners to provide any services that they may need that we don't provide. But we really want to be a first stop for people who are facing an unexpected pregnancy. We have highly trained volunteers and staff who are willing to just sit for as long as a client needs. They don't need an appointment. They can just walk through our doors and say, hey, I'm here. I need a pregnancy test, ultrasound, STD test. They can be seen usually immediately, if not after just a very brief wait. And we're able to just connect with them and give them, again, that support and compassion that they need in that season.
And again, as we mentioned in the first segment, you're non-judgmental. You don't judge anyone about the choice that they ultimately make, but the decision that they do make will be with them their entire life. So that fully informed decision can be so vitally critical, I guess I'm trying to say, and outside influence can be very powerful.
Yes, yes, you're exactly right. The decisions we make, they do follow us. And we really are a non-judgmental, compassionate place that people can come through the doors with whatever they want to share and they can be heard. One of the programs that I'm proudest of here at Alternatives is an abortion recovery program where people can come and they can meet with another woman who's post-abortive, who's gone through a healing process. And they can talk about if they've had, emotional stress, trauma related to a choice that they may have made when they're younger. Some women, it's been 40 or 50 years. For some women, it's been 6 months, but they expected that choice to feel differently to them. And maybe now it doesn't. And they just need somebody to talk, process through some of those feelings and just get that support. And I love that about Alternatives because it shows that our only agenda is to help people. And we just want to come alongside and say, hey, you don't have to carry that weight. We can process through those feelings and just again provide them the support that they need. I can't say enough how much Alternatives truly just ministers with compassion and kindness. We're not looking to again pressure anybody, but to just say, hey, if you've struggled after this decision, you're not alone. We're here for you. And again, that group is led by incredibly brave women who've also had abortions, so they're very relatable. They've experienced many of those feelings and life issues themselves, and they're able to come alongside and say, hey, there's hope, there's a light at the end of this tunnel, and I can help.
So give me an example. If someone makes a phone call or goes on your website, what will you tell them right away? Do you want them to come in for kind of an initial consultation, or how will that work for a woman?
Absolutely. It's entirely at the woman or man's comfort level. So they can text or call. Our phone number is 319-535-2720. they can reach out again with a phone call or a text message, or they can go to our website, alternativecenter.org, and there's an appointment request form. Now, depending what they would like, if they need parenting classes, material assistance, STD tests, they'll be directed to the staff member that's most appropriate for their request. If it's a medical service, again, we can almost always get them in the same day, but they don't need an appointment. They could just say, hey, I'm here and this is what I need. So they can go through the process of filling out a request form or giving us a phone call. For some people, even that feels like a lot, and they just say, hey, I just want to drive there and just walk through the door, and that's okay. We'll be here waiting. We're open Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5. We'll be in Eldora on Tuesdays from 2 to 5. And we're also open in Waverly from 2 to 5. And then on Tuesdays, we're open in our Waterloo location an extra hour until 6 o'clock. And so they can walk in at any time and ask for the services. So our first conversation is going to be, what do you need? How can we serve you? And then it's going to be all about how quickly are we able to get them in so that they can get those services as soon as possible.
Do you ever have any contact with the parents of some of the women if they want to be involved, or if the mother wants them to be involved?
Yes, that's a great question. So we do honor the confidentiality of our clients. Again, the only time that we would ever have to have a conversation about one of our clients is if, they were threatening to harm themselves, they were a victim of some sort of abuse that we needed to report. But if a young girl were to come in and report that she had had sexual activity and she tested positive or negative for pregnancy, that is her confidential and private information. Now, we do encourage our clients to find somebody that they trust in their life. If they're living at home with their parents, that this may be a conversation that they want to have with their parents. And if they need help in starting that conversation, we're more than happy to help with that, but we would not have that conversation on their behalf or for them. That's really them. And so let's just use an example. A 16-year-old comes in and we do a pregnancy test and she is pregnant. We might ask her, how do you think your parents will react? And her answer could be everything from, they've already told me if I ever get pregnant, they're going to kick me out, or I know they'll love me and support me and they'll be there for me no matter what. Whatever that is, we're going to encourage her to, have those conversations, encourage that she's safe. But again, those are not conversations that we would ever have unless she said, if I bring my mom or dad in here, will you help me tell them? Of course, we'll sit in a room and we'll help guide that conversation. But again, that would be totally at her comfort level, her decision. And if she said, I don't want to tell them, there's absolutely nothing that we would say to them on her behalf.
I mean, the options are up to the woman, but there are a lot of people involved in here. You have the parents, you have the father.
Yes.
So it's really up to her if she wants to bring the father into this and the parents or anybody else.
Absolutely.
All right,
and we really do encourage that as much, again, as it feels safe. Occasionally, of course, there's familial situations, home situations where it may not be the safest for somebody to disclose something that they feel that if they're living with somebody who has threatened domestic violence, if they were to find out they were pregnant, then this would probably not be a good option of somebody to disclose your pregnancy to. Maybe you have a trusted friend or a relative. But we really do encourage honesty and openness because it helps women feel supported, right? And so as much as sometimes that might be difficult or surprising news to hear, for the most part, we want to support and walk alongside those that we love and care for. And most parents, and again, I'm not speaking for every parent. I know that I'm not talking about 100% of parents, but the majority of parents would say, I would rather know than not know. And so I think one thing that we can do as moms and dads is have conversations with our kiddos that create a climate in our home where it's safe to tell us things that we otherwise might not want to hear, right? And so that's an important part of the conversation. But again, we wouldn't have it with a parent without a client asking us to do that.
Okay, that is really important knowledge there, Megan. Thanks very much. We're going to take one more short break here on the Steele Report and come back to wrap things up here in just a moment.
We do teach a curriculum, building healthy relationships, and it is avoiding sexual risk. And while I know it is difficult, absolutely, for young people, and it's always been difficult, right? Since the beginning of time, it's been difficult for people to channel some of their sexual desires in a healthy way. And so we do teach folks some just coping skills and ways to do that. I think one really important thing is just helping students identify what their life goals are. What do you want to accomplish in your life? And one of the easiest things that we can do is give somebody a great big thing to say yes to. I want to go to college. I want to graduate. I want to do this with my life. And there are a lot of things along the way that could derail that. And so, how do we make choices that support our future vision and goals, dreams for ourselves, I think is really important. And also just empowering students to have agency, because I think what we do a lot of the times as adults is assume that every teenager wants to have sex. And the reality is, while many do, there are also some that do not. And they do not feel ready, they do not feel interested, they do not feel like that's something that they want. And when we create a culture that says everybody is, it makes those students feel like they maybe don't have the agency and opportunity to say, this is not something that I'm okay with. And so we want to empower them to be able to speak for themselves and to feel strong enough to say, I am not interested in that kind of a relationship. I'm not interested in that kind of a, texting kind of conversation, whatever it may be that's making them uncomfortable, and helping them identify that so that if they ever were to be in a position where they were feeling pressured or coerced in some way, that they would be able to think back and say, wait, this is not okay with me. I'm not comfortable. I need to get out of this situation. And so we really try to empower those students as much as we can.
You know, you strongly encourage all the women that you have contact with that come into the Alternatives Pregnancy Center to make sure they receive their prenatal care through a personal doctor. You're there really to offer the emotional support, the parenting and life skills that they're going to need, and that's what it's all about for you. You're really thinking about the baby and about the mother and the family.
Absolutely, that's it. We do not provide the prenatal care. We do offer a year's worth of free prenatal vitamins, and then we refer them to OBGYNs in the area. But we really encourage them to get that prenatal care. It's super important. But again, we're there for the emotional support, for the compassion, for the material assistance, for the parenting and life skills. That's our role, and we work so great with the doctors in the area that get our clients in and can serve them in their way too.
And again, what's the best way or the most efficient way to contact you?
It's really up to the client or the donor's preference. So 535-2720 is a phone number that you can call or text, or you can go to our website on alternativecenter.org and you can find all of our staff emails or an appointment request form if that's something that you needed.
And one thing I wanted to mention, I almost forgot, do you still have the baby bottle campaign, something like that?
Yeah.
You have lots of great little things, little goodies for the women too, right?
Yeah. Yes. So our baby bottle campaign is actually one of our fundraising efforts where churches, individuals can take a baby bottle home. They fill it with coins, dollars, checks, whatever they want. They bring them back in. That again just helps fund our programs. They are always free for our clients. One important thing to know about alternatives is we don't collect income data. So we don't have sliding fees, we don't have income copays, our insurance copays. It's all free. And so things like the baby bottle campaigns, they not only help fund our programs, but they give parents and families an opportunity to have really key conversations about compassion and kindness in their home. So we can say, hey, we love our Pregnancy Resource Center, we love this pro-life ministry, but more than that, we want to teach our children how to give back, right? Not just say something, but do something. And so this is a great way to get kids involved and include them in the process of being great givers to support ministries or nonprofits that they feel good about the work they're doing.
And just before we wrap up here, Megan, once again, just let's give people a list of some of the things you do offer, and your services, again, are free.
Yes, they are free. We do free pregnancy test, ultrasounds, STD test for men and women, parenting classes, abortion recovery support, a fatherhood fraternity, which is parenting classes just for men, taught by men. And then we have material assistance in our community classes that focus on building healthy relationships. Again, always free and always confidential.
Well, Megan Ethiaraga, the Executive Director of the Alternatives Pregnancy Center in Waterloo and now in Eldora and Waverly, again, thank you very much for coming onto the program to tell everyone about what you do with those particularly important free services to young women.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having us.
And once again, thanks to Executive Director Megan Ethiaraga of the Alternatives Pregnancy Center for being on the program today. A reminder, all of our shows are online on the homepage for kwwl.com. Just find the Watch tab. Right on down there to the Steele Report. There's all of our recent programs just for your viewing. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week on the next edition of the Steele Report.